Test, 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 test. Test. What the heck is... Test. Good evening. Sorry. This music. I don't know how that got in the playlist. I mean, I like me some saxophone, but all right. Welcome. My name is Coach Z. I've waited a long time for this. A long time. This stream is all about getting us ready for FM26, as you can see here. I first gotta say, I'm really excited to be here with you all. I've dreamt of this day a long time. I've always wanted to stream this game. I think there's so many layers to it. I love it. But I'd say this stream is just going to get you guys to know me, to get to know the Coach Z. And the reason why I'm going to be streaming this game, well, the reason I'm going to be streaming in general. Quick synopsis. I was obsessed with FM. 23. 22. Then I got married. I had kids. I started a business. And now here we are. I've waited for a new engine like this. And I cannot tell you how disappointed I was when FM25 was canceled. However, I trust game development. I trust they made the upgrades they needed with the time. So, the beta should be around the corner. And my obsession with FM22, I am coming out of retirement for FM26. And I will be streaming my late night save with you all. And I hope that you come along this journey with me on these streams. And we're going to have a good time. I'm always going to have coffee. And we're going to get into this. We're going to have a good time. Yeah. Again, this stream was for me to just snuggle in with my equipment here. All right. I got a lot of screens around me. Okay. If you hear this intro, I was testing out. I could not find where my voice was coming through. There was some random mic turned on one of my computers, but I figured it out. And I'm here. I'm here with you all. Anyways, here's what I gotta say. What I am gonna break down why I'm a soccer fan, a football fan, so as you will, and how I came to love the teams that I love, and why I think you should love Football Manager as much as I do. But first, we will get into that. We'll get into that, I promise you. I know you're just shaking your boots to know who is this new guy I'm going to be streaming on a regular weekly basis, playing this amazing game, talking about the best sport on the planet. But first, we're going to take a look at what they've released so far. Okay. As you can see, this is my Steam account. Yeah, take a look. That's my gamer tag. So what? We all have a funny one. I haven't changed it since I was in high school when I was a hipster. When I had a man bun. All right. Man, I'm so excited. Hope my excitement doesn't wake up my kids in the rooms next door. But we're going to do this. We're going to jump into this. All right. This fucking mic. Okay. All right. FM26 or Football Manager 26. Okay. So what we got so far. Okay. You know what? Let's take a look at this trailer. New foundations, redefined storytelling, made with Unity. Okay, hold on. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you right now. This doesn't look amazing. I'm going to find a side-by-side here. Hold on. I want to find a side-by-side here and really rate this. It says this is FM24. Hold on. I'm not ready. Hold on. Let's bring this up. Here's what I'm saying. I mean, just take a look here. We all know when my wife rolls over and watches me play this game, she's like, what kind of old 2000s software are you running? I go from operating spreadsheets to this engine. So, you know, I want to listen, the game's not out yet. Okay, and we're gonna see this real time. We're all gonna see this. We're gonna see this. I'm worried, right, that I'm gonna love this game regardless, because the engine is one thing. I'm just worried that they put too much emphasis on a new engine and a new visual, that parts of the game that I love will be neglected because they put so much into this to be not as much as an improvement as we all expected. Anyways, we'll take a step back. Okay, let's enjoy this video. Let's restart it. Okay, new foundations. Redefined storytelling, made with Unity. Okay, hold on. So, yeah, like, look at their faces. Like, look at it. Look at this. Can you see my mouse here? Like that. That still looks like the new gen faces that we all don't like. I don't know. I mean, the crowd looks a lot better. Like this. And we get some details here. This shot particularly worries me. But, you know, let's keep going. Okay. That looks good. Like, this looks better. Like, this looks like FIFA 08, right? That looks good. I like that. The movements are good. I like the movements a lot. Is this in slow motion or is this just me? No, it's not. Okay. And yes, and the goal scoring looks good. Like, this all looks clean. I like all that. Honestly, I like most of that. That shot, this right here. This doesn't look good, in my opinion. In my humble coach, I'm not humble. In this coach Z's opinion, this doesn't look good. But this shot, everything else looks pretty good. I really like the movement. The movement that I like the movements that they're adding. I don't know, Steam's bugging out. Look at some of these images. Like, okay. That looks cool. We'll get into all this. I'm not ready for that. I'm just talking about the match engine. Let's go here. No, this is what I'm really interested in, is the recruitment room. Because we're gonna learn. You're gonna all learn real quick that why I love this game is I get such a high of turning a club into a Cinderella story, financially, and as a business, just in general, flipping it, right? And honestly, like, if I manage a big six in my save, cool, then I'll try to, secure myself as like a Sir Alex Ferguson, Pep Guardiola, whatever it might be. But a joy of like bringing a club up and becoming like this recruitment empire, so to say, where we have the supply of the best players, right? And every once in a while, we go for a cup run. We go through some huge Champions League. We have high turnover, right? That's what I like to do. this game. Okay. Now, recruitment and transfers, those got to be dialed in, right? And that's what I'm worried about, that they've neglected. Okay. But they did this. And they might know. I mean, a lot of people get that highs. Let me know if that's your high in this game. Well, let's take a look here. Full story. Is this all we're giving me here? Oh, here we go. Sorry. The wrong thing here. Powered by Transfer Room FM26 Recruitment Revamp. All right. Building your squad on the transfer market at the heart of every football manager career. The successful negotiations, the transfer deals you complete, and the pathways you create for your Wonder Kids define your success. Now, okay, that sentence right there defines why I love this game. That's why I'm streaming it right now. We're going to stream it, okay? So that gets me hyped. That right there. Here's what to expect. A new home for your recruitment needs. Compromise. Okay, so this isn't quite the sweet spot that I want to talk about. I'm really more into the scouting and the recruitment process. But you're right. Once those players are found, this is pretty much. So the whole, okay, look at this UI here. Recruitment has its like own subsection. Is like scouting in there? Yes. Okay. Okay. Scouting budgets, wage. Okay. Okay. I like that their recruitment budgets at the top right. Sometimes it's financial stuff is sometimes hard to find depending what skin you're using. I like that clauses are down here. Sometimes clauses are so hard to remember when you have so many players all pleading for different things. Coach C, please help me. Shut up. It's hard to keep track of all of them. So, you guys tell me, did you guys use the planner? Did you guys use the planner? Because I didn't. I think that I never used the planner because, like, I'm writing everything down. A little about me. I used to coach. I coached soccer all through college. Did my U8 girls win the Holiday Classic tournament? You know it. I'm really old-fashioned about this game. Like, I don't mind looking at Wonder Kids online, and I'd like write them down. Literally. Sometimes it's the best way to remember things. Did anybody else like write things down? Anyways, I digress. Um, I never used the squad planner. So, I mean, I think if it's mapped out correctly, it could be really useful. I just thought it was just kind of annoying, kind of always in the way. Um, because matches to me are so fluid, right? And to have a really good team, your players got to bounce around different positions, right? Like the Pep system, which is, it's funny that they're using Manchester City for this example, but like his center backs, like his back four, his left back or his right back are pretty much becoming a midfielder while they're attacking, right? So that's so hard to put in a planner because, like, tactically. Now for this makes sense, right? If you have a plan to keep certain players, try to get them on, you know, contracts, when to sell them. So this makes sense. That's what a squad planner makes sense to me. Tactically, it's really hard to plan that, and they might have it in here. Yep, right here. Wait. Okay, this is all recruitment. So there's a squad planner. Oh, direct link to the squad planner. So this is something different. This is transfer room. I knew that. Okay. Okay, now I'm tracking. Okay, so this makes sense. All right, let's break this down. This is similar. If you're sending out scouts, okay. I don't see anything crazy about this. Is this what you're sending your scouts? Like, this is usually the page where they put like country or leagues or something like this, right? I just realized I don't have my Twitch chat open. One moment. Let me check on all of these. Alright, I got you. Yeah, I don't. It's just very vague. Maybe this is, again, non-final capture. Maybe this is a screenshot of like some of the framework, but did anybody else, like, unless there's like an emergency situation where you're like, crap, I just sold my best center mid to Bayern Munich or PSG or something like that, and you had to take the money, they had to leave, right? Did anybody else like send their scouts specifically to look for a center mid? I never did that. I think my system that I would do is I just have like a backlog of players that I like that I liked, and anytime like, crap, I need a center mid, I'd go to my huge backlog of players and be like, cool, I like this center mid, I need a ball winning midfielder, right? Here are the 5 ones that are maybe exciting from like ages 18 to 23, and then maybe I have like ones that maybe aged out a little bit from like 25 to 27, right? And then if I'm sending in anybody from like 27 up, it's usually like a free agent, right, that add leadership to the team. That's usually my signing philosophy. Did anybody else, like, I never did that. But if you're in a jam, right, and I need that data, I mean, might as well. But Smarter scouting. Here we go. Okay. Okay. Sign younger players. Changes to how clubs. One of those changes are for the tweaks to AI squad building. Okay. FFP. I'm sure that's gonna have a impact on you as well, not just the AI. Okay. Like what would be some new transfer clauses they would add in? Do we want to go there? I won't go there. No, I won't say it. Better logic, sorry, purpose. Okay. I always got the player to drop if they preferred position, unless it was like nailed on, because I might see a midfielder to be more of a box-to-box midfielder when he really wants to play it. I don't know. Ball-winning midfielder. You know? You're going to play how I want you to play. So I always got them to just drop it, but it's just me. I like this. I like more flexibility. I think the most flexibility I remember having on loan clauses was like, I don't know. I just feel like they ask for astronomical amounts. And I feel like the pull of the player, they need to dial this in. If you loan a player to another club, right? And that player just fits into that system just really, really well, right? That player should have a dialogue with the other club. If they don't see a route to the first team, they should want to stay, and that should influence the price tag, right? That happens all the time in the Premier League. When like Manchester City, Chelsea, Arsenal, they loan out their players, right? They didn't get first team action, so they loaned them out to a team like Crystal Palace, to a team like Brighton, to a team like I don't know, Brentford, right? And those players fit in. And they don't want to, I mean, if they do really, really well, I could see a parent club taking it back and say, we're going to try to fit you in, or we're going to sell you to a bigger club. But sometimes those players, perfect example, Mark Gahey on Crystal Palace. Perfect example. I think, actually, that's not a perfect example. He didn't loan on loan, did he? They just sold him. I was going to say Gallagher, kind of, but it's a little more complicated. Maybe it doesn't happen. Maybe it could. I don't know. I feel like that happens a lot, or at least influences it. I don't know. I just feel like players that go on loan, they stay there a lot. And I feel like in previous football managers, they just made it difficult. I'll move on. I never had a problem with this. I never had a problem with AI clubs recalling players, but maybe that was an issue in the newer games. Okay. Okay. Mm, it's very vague on a lot of this stuff. Like, I want a deeper dive into this. You can't just say it's smarter scouting with, and I know they're adding the out of possession formations, but like, how are my scouts gonna find the next Caicedo, the next Holland, the next, you know, they're hiking the tallest fjords in Norway, or they're going deep into the jungles in the Amazon to find these players, right? And I just feel like they're just kind of talking about the system. I want to know more about that stuff. But I guess you got to have a better system of UI to navigate all that for something like I love, which is actually diving in and going to these places, finding these players, flipping them, right? I guess you got to have a system in place to make that fun. How to buy these players, how to recruit them. So, yes, if you're gonna mention scouting, like, I just feel like you gotta go the whole length. But oh well. Okay. Anything else we want to look at? My thoughts on the interface. I think that, sure, I think it's more modern. You know, I run my businesses all over Google Workspace and widgets, and that's kind of similar how they did it. It kind of looked like, you know, on the homepage of your iPhone, you can kind of tweak, you know, how that looks. It reminds me of that, you know. Go back to FM23. I gotta check if my last save was at FM22 or 23. Oh, man. Who do you think would be like the star? Who's like killing it? I should check. Who's killing it? That's wild. I think it's 22, so I don't think that would work. But that's a pretty cool thing. Wow. I was rocking like Hamrabi in Sweden. I was rocking that Sweden league, dude. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it's hard to know. We shall see. Okay. Let's give a quick little deep dive into myself here. A couple things you gotta know about me. I need to change my homepage. It's just that traditional Apple. But we'll do it anyways. A couple things you gotta know about me. I love Chelsea. Chelsea's my team. And before you be like, oh, of course you are, the tourist fan. You gotta know this. I gotta tell you the story. I just gotta tell you it. There's a reason. My dad took me on a trip to Ghana when I was a freshman in high school, right? Ghana, yes, Ghana, Africa. And took me on this trip. helping out some communities. And as soon as we landed in Accra, huge. I mean, if you've ever been to the airport, when I landed, posters everywhere of Drogba, John Obi Mikel, Michael Essien, Kalou, even some of the French players. I mean, it doesn't matter that Ivory Coast or Nigeria, these guys were everywhere. I mean, I just can't imagine, like, the entire lobby of the airport was just Drogba. And they were all in Chelsea jerseys. And at this point, I wasn't really watching soccer. Okay? Wasn't watching soccer. And we experienced this trip on the flyback a week later. Okay? Well, first of all, I'm butchering this story. How they talked about those players. I mean, like, you think about these days, right? We think about, like, streamers, Tim the Tatman, Nick Mertz, these people that have made it, movie stars, Robert Downey Jr., Mark Wahlberg, these people that are just so big, they've made it, right? To them, I really think like soccer players are it, right? And I guess everybody has their own thing, but soccer players, they just talked so highly. And to hear about Drogba's story is really also really cool, from ending a lot of the conflict in Ivory Coast and stuff like that. That's just really awesome. Anyways, we're flying back, and we have a day in London. Okay, our hotel is like right next to Stamford Bridge, right? Okay, thing number 2 about Chelsea, right? Seeing all these players. Now I'm staying next to Stamford Bridge. I got to see it. First stadium I ever saw that's in a proper football stadium. And we tour it. I actually don't tour it. I just remember going around it, really seeing it, and having this like surreal experience. Okay. I saw a blast. Come back home. I'm like, you know what? This season, I'm going to follow Chelsea just because I had a great experience. And I'll talk about the MLS in another stream. I have a whole conversation about that. In my area, I didn't have an MLS team. So I'm like, I love soccer. At that point, I was playing club soccer. I wanted to follow a team. I want to watch the best. So I followed Chelsea that season. Okay. Guess what season that was? That was the 2011 and 2012 season. Okay. If you don't know, Chelsea in the Premier League, not so good. I think they got 7th this year. Right. But in the Champions League, I don't think I knew until years later how crazy that run was. And that final game against Bayern Munich is the closest thing sports is to cinema, in my opinion. Talk about defying the odds. And that was strike 3. I'm all in. Chelsea fan for life. That sold it. That sold me. There was no going back. If you were in my shoes, I mean, what are you doing? Were you going to support Manchester United because everybody just loved them around the time? No. The only fans I respect, not new Arsenal fans, the OGs, when they were like, yeah, we know we're not that great, but we play the closest to like Barca ball. You know, respect. That happened a little bit with Tottenham fans back when Pochettino was there too. But yeah. Another club I also like. It's fun to root for them because they're just such a classic entity. And it actually, I'll talk a little bit more about them because I'm just super excited to follow them this season, is Everton. Wow, they are blast to follow right now because the Hill Dickinson Stadium. Also, what a terrible stadium name. Like, did they have any other candidates? No way they didn't, right? Come on. They had to have other bids. Okay, here we go. So, here are some of the names that they could have picked. They could have picked. They had USM. Okay. That was Russian. Get rid of it. Qatar Airways. They're everywhere in football, so not surprised. I mean, sure, they could have got some money. Toyota would have been different. There's not a lot of outside of like, Chevrolet was really involved with Manchester United for a little bit. That could have been kind of cool. That could have been kind of cool. Toyota Stadium rings really well, doesn't it? Toyota Stadium. Welcome to Toyota Stadium. I like that. I like the ring to that. JP Morgan. Now, that would be pretty cool. JP Morgan Stadium. That sounds so like I'm your boss. Seriously. Like big energy. That's what it sounds like. But no. They went with the Hill Dickinson Stadium. I don't know. I'm an American fan, and that bothers me. I just don't see it. I don't see it. Toyota Stadium it's got a nice ring to it. JP Morgan Stadium also does. You know who honestly has the best stadium name in the Premier League, I think, as far as sponsorship goes? The Amex Stadium. Is that what it's called? Yeah. American Express. I mean, people call it Amex, right? American Express. I like Amex Stadium. That is such a cool It's 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 modern. References a brand that we all know. And it's a well-liked brand, in my opinion. Like, I think most people love their American Express credit cards. Because most people that have American Express credit cards are ballers in life. And I don't know. I just feel like that combination for a stadium name is dope. I think it fits really well. Brentford Stadium. Theirs is called, isn't it G-Tech? Yeah, and they got the, don't they have the big G on the top? No. I want to see that big. Yeah, right here. G-Tech. That's cool. I dig that. As you can tell, I really like the business side of football, which I think why I'm way more into football than American sports, because there's such a business flip on things. Like, I want my club to do successfully financially and brand wise and building exposure, because I want the entity to do good. I feel like American franchises are so nah, I want the Eagles in the Super Bowl. No, I don't know. There's so many more layers to it, which is why Football Manager is so amazing. I don't know. Yeah, what are all the stadium names? I mean, you got the classic ones, right? Anfield, Etihad, Emirates, Stamford Bridge. I mean, those are pretty classy, right? Allen Road. I'm surprised they didn't rename Tottenham Hotspur to a brand. They just changed that. It's not Brentford Community Stadium. How about, yeah, Winchurch 2025, because it's not. It's called G-Tech now, isn't it? Or is it still? Yeah, G-Tech. Oh, Goodison is in there. Yeah, see, they call it Amex here. I do like the name City Ground. That's pretty classy. Nottingham. I like that. I think that yeah. Everybody else is pretty. Yeah, Hill Dickinson. Express Monia. Yeah. No, they didn't change that. So G-Tech must be, it's got to be a newer thing, right? We'll go through another thing and talk about sponsorships and stuff like that, but I think that's really it. I really wanted to go through FM25, kind of introduce yourself to me and kind of my personality and what I'm going to be doing. My setup will be getting better over time. Side note, I own a production studio, and this is just some of the leftovers of what I have there and put in my home. But Hope you guys go on this journey with me. You know, I'm sure there'll be a lot of good reactions to all these games. Because I don't lose. When in reality, I lose a lot. Yeah. Don't know when I'll stream again. Kind of depends on when they release the beta. Yeah. Nothing's really released yet about it. There was rumors that I was going to come out today. But we shall see. But I have it loaded up, baby. I'm ready to go. All right. Thank you all for tuning in. I need to change this background. Thank you all for tuning in. Look at you on the next one. See you guys later.